is MIA.
Well, there's our talking point.
But we're live on YouTube at least, so there's that.
Did you reconnect the Facebook?
Yeah, I signed up for Facebook.
We'll see if that works, because the only thing I could think of is it connected through my admin status. Like, I set it up, but if you're going live, it might not can like reach it through there. You know what I mean? So
Right.
maybe if you connect it through your account, it'll push it.
Gotcha.
So let's roll with it, man.
All right, so this will be like the old days where we seem totally unprepared. I say the old days like it doesn't just happen normally. Was putting my signature catchphrase in the thing. My wife said it first. My wife is here and said it first. What in the world? What's wrong with her?
Wow.
Oh, and I'm on
up,
the wrong
people?
account. So there's also that. I was going to put us some little tags in the info. Guys, we're totally unprepared today. Blame it on me. It's fine. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to just get everything set up right. Rob's MIA. We don't know where he's at. We know where he's at. We just don't know when
Why
he's
he's
going
not
to be
here.
here. Yeah. So we have no idea what's going on. So we're just
he was live an hour ago. I'm seeing this on our channel on Facebook.
Well, I got the call. I got a call from her and said, "Did you see the live Facebook?" And I said, "No, I didn't even have my phone near me. Sorry." And he's just like, "Oh, it's like Dave Pinzer's here, and Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. Bruh, we gotta. Oh, and I'll just like I got to go downstairs and get my Beats headphones because, bruh, we gotta like 10 minutes from now. Like, I'm just gonna, we'll just have them 10 minutes." And I was like, I don't even know what he's saying, man. All right. He sounds like he's having a great time wherever he's at. Rob's MIA, but I'm sure he'll be here eventually. So.
Yeah. Well, the good news is it looks like we're actually live on Facebook tonight. So welcome.
Man.
Welcome, Facebook crew.
This is a big change. We haven't been able to pull this off before. Thanks for everybody for showing up. Make sure you share it out. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit like, all of the stuff if you haven't done it already. We'll start talking about wrestling news in the background. Will's more caught up on Clash of the Champions than I am. Front row, I know you're watching it out there, so you can probably tell us what's going on more so. I see that Bobby Lashley retained the U.S. title, it appears. So congrats to Bobby Lashley. Sorry if this is a spoiler for anybody, but it's on in the background. We're running out the last little bit of my WWE Network subscription, so I'm not paying them monthly. So, what's up, Eric Dale? Thanks for joining us. Dave Scooby, Woodland Goblin, Jennifer Horde, whoever you are, welcome. It's good to have you guys here.
Welcome, everyone. If you're watching on Facebook, toss something in the chat. This is the first time not the first time we've ever been on Facebook, but we are broadcasting on Twitter Live. We are on YouTube Live like we normally are, and we're also on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, hop in the chat and let us know.
You know what's super weird is it says our live thing right now says, wait, I got to look at this. Is this accurate? It says here, UWN primetime live reaction. Nick Aldis versus Mike Bennett. Wow, we are living in the past. This is weird. How did this happen?
Where does it say? Does it say that on YouTube?
Yeah, it says that on YouTube.
I guess that was...
that's weird.
I'll go change it.
Well, I was on it now, so I got it.
Okay, cool. I guess we're just pulling from Tuesday night what we had in there. So
yeah, it's odd.
All guys, right. It's Sunday night. This is the casual. This is the light show. We're real casual. We're not as buttoned up. We're just hanging out with you guys and rounding out the weekend, talking about wrestling, and having a good time. So forgive us for the technical glitches. But we're here and we're ready to talk some pro wrestling. which is more than we can say for Rob. He is not here. Who are we going to argue with? Somebody in the chat's got to say something controversial that we can, in Rob's absence.
Oh, man. All right, let's see.
Scooby's on Facebook and YouTube. Wow. Thanks for the support. Massive support. Just go watch it on everything. Like everything, share everything. Let's get this party started.
I'm just making noises in the mic. Not really saying words.
It sounds like you're fake typing. It's like when you're trying to pretend to work when your boss walks by. Hey, tick, 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 tick. Oh, just working on those reports.
Lots of business documents here. Typing documents. And
Yes. Anybody watching Clash of the Champions, let us know your thoughts so far. I did go back and watch. I caught the end of the ladder match, so I went back and rewatched it. Love you guys' thoughts on that.
I sadly missed
whatever's going on. It's worth going back and watching, for sure. I mean, you got AJ Styles, you got Jeff Hardy, you got Sami Zayn, who's consistently underrated. So those guys put on a hell of a ladder match, so it's worth watching. Kind of made the Intercontinental title feel important again. We always talk about that and the history of the Intercontinental title and what it's meant and who's held it. And with those three guys, it kind of felt important, So, we don't say a lot of good things about WWE, but I'll give them props for that. I feel like they are restoring some interest and some prominence to that IC title.
Well, Bobby Lashley won that matchup, so I expected that. I got to be honest, I did not feel like there was much build up to any of this stuff, except that Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. Well, and I've complained regularly about the build up on that, but whatever. Woodland Goblin, I'm definitely a Michael Myers guy. Always go, but actually the Friday the 13th series is probably overall my favorite series. But I love Michael Myers as a character, so that's where I'm at on that. You're welcome. Let's see here. Front row's right. Roman and Jey Uso. That is coming up. That does seem like an interesting story. The only thing I'd say there is I don't feel like there's a chance in hell that Jey Uso is going to beat Roman Reigns. And I don't think that anybody thinks that. So it's, and then maybe they surprise us. Maybe that's how they win us over here.
I think it'll be a great match, though. I mean,
hold on one second. Listen to this. Hello?
Yeah. Let me in the room, man.
Okay, all right, hold on.
There he is.
There we are.
Oh, sorry, Rob. We've been giving you shit, and you just been.
No, we've been hearing it.
No, he was sitting there listening.
Yeah, I've been listening to this travesty.
Oh man.
Well, who's we? Who you got with you?
Me and my man Brian Bishop. Are the producer of Talking Shop-A-Mania.
Aren't we?
Oh,
There we go. Okay, there we go. I like it the other way. That's just cute.
I could. Yeah, I mean, I can switch it however you want if you guys want to lock lips while we're doing this.
There we go, right here.
Oh, hello. Different show.
I met this guy today.
With your dinner, Rob. What are those?
Hey, I'm just going to
Thanks for joining us, Rob.
Is that mild? Man. What you got going on there?
No, man. It's extra spicy.
I'm on a diet, man, and this is what I sit down in front of. Come on! What the hell is this?
Can you guys hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Again.
Well, you're going to hear Gallows because he's the loudest man in the world.
Nice.
Well, we'll take it.
Rob, I feel like you've been drinking all day. Is that accurate?
I'm not, man. We've had, one drink?
I had a drink that you had, so I don't know what was in it.
We've had one drink, man.
But we had it.
I'm in my right mind, so hey, Hey, Tanya!
His girlfriend's the bartender. It's perfect.
Oh,
Rob,
it works out.
Rob, fill the people in on where you are, what's going on, why you're in a noisy bar right now.
We are at the Talkin' Shop-A-Mania Eat and Greet here at Turnbuckle Bar and Grill in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And we are joined by Dave Pinzer, Luke Gallows, the Machine Gun Carl Anderson. Who else is up in here?
Oh, Heath is here. You're looking at little Brian Myers back there. Vernon freaking Love is here. If you know who Vernon Love is, the guy's here in the flesh. Maybe too much flesh, but he's here.
Is the Nature Boy here? I hadn't seen him
Nature
yet.
Boy Paul Lee, he owns the place, so I imagine
Oh,
he's
yeah,
here,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Your
He's
daughter
my-
Piper's here.
Piper, come here.
I'm here too.
And a basket of chicken wings right in front of my face.
Piper, you're too young
Son of
to
a-
drink. What are you doing?
I can't hear
She's
you.
bringing us drinks. Isn't
I
that
don't
legal?
have your beats. The beats.
You don't have
I
the
can't
beat?
hear you.
They said you look lovely tonight.
These are Beats. I've
Okay.
always wanted to try Beats. I got like some Sony knockoffs. So.
Nah, they're nice, man.
These are
Well,
very
thank you,
nice.
guys.
They're so nice I can't even hear Doc Gallows in the background, which people in the next county can hear Doc Gallows in the
Gosh, you're so obnoxious. I mean, he's amazing. The dude's like 8 foot tall. But
So
it's
so,
loud.
So what's been going down? What's been going down over there?
It's a meet and greet, so there's a lot of they've been. Dave Pinzer was in the ring. People could pay a small fee to have him announce them as the WCW World Champion.
It's a money grab is what this is. You know how this
Basically.
goes. It's a promotional money grab, and that's what Doc Gallows does. By the way, my name is Brandon Bishop, in case you didn't know who my ugly face was on your screen. Thanks for having me, even though you had no choice at this point. But 20-year professional wrestler turned television producer. I own Asai TV, ASY TV. You can check it out on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. I do the Good Brothers show. I film his TV show all over the country with him. And I've gotten to know him and his family really well. This whole comeback trail from being let go from the Empire. And it's an interesting story. So if you want to watch Good Brother, I think this is the 6th episode that we're filming here in Chattanooga. And it's a hell of a show, man. Like literally from the week after he got fired up until today.
Nice. Where can we watch that? Is that on YouTube or is it on?
It's no. It's on Asai TV.
Okay.
It's like an independent Netflix or Hulu. It's ASY TV, ASYTV.com. You can go to Netflix. Not Netflix. Roku. Look it up on, you know how to get channels on Roku, right?
Yeah.
You go to search channels and then ASY TV. There it is, Asai TV. And yeah, man, wrestling keeps bringing me back. I got out of it, and it keeps sucking me back. We also do the UFO show with Amy Duma, who's Hall of Famer Lita. We do a show with Eva Lise. We just started the Mike and Maria Bennett show. We've got a lot of wrestling, but no wrestling, if you know what I mean.
Now you were in Thunder Studios.
We were in Thunder Studios in Los Angeles last week, filming the Mike and Maria's show. Got to meet Nick Aldis and interview everybody in the building. And NWA's got a little gym sitting there in Los Angeles if they keep that going.
Oh, sweet. Is that a scoop? Is that a scoop that they got a little gym?
They turned into robots.
Say it again, Gary.
No, I was just saying, is that a scoop that the NWA has a little gym over in Los Angeles?
Gym as in G-E-M. A gym.
Oh.
A sparkling little diamond sitting there.
I thought you were going to G-Y-M.
No. A gym as in something sparkly in the middle of a toilet bowl called Los Angeles. You said I could have one of these, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Man, you had to get that one, man.
Oh, son of a
That
bitch.
was the best one. Too.
I took the best. No, there's
That's
a
all
good
right.
one. There's one right there.
Let me get this one.
What if I dip this into the chili and cheese?
Go ahead, man.
Dude, I just
That's
lost
what
10
it's for,
pounds,
man.
and here
That's
it is.
the people's chilies and cheese.
Son of a bitch. All right.
Oh, you're gonna find
That's
it
a good
again.
chicken wing. That's a good chicken wing. You can't say the...
Well,
That's
we've
one
already kind of opened, but I didn't do the formal intro. It's what's up, you beautiful people? This is Scary Horde, and this is the NWA, the podcast celebrating the past, present, future, history, legacy, and tradition of the greatest pro wrestling entity of all time, the National Wrestling Alliance. And I guess we might as well do all that since we technically started. We're here with Rob Stinson, and was it Brandon Bishop? Is that right? Because I feel like Rob said Brian Bishop at first.
He did, because we've only known each other for an hour. But This is how quickly we became friends. We're sharing chicken wings. Yeah. I simulated fellatio. I mean, this is a really fun friendship we're building here.
It started off with a bang.
Oh, it sure did.
And also, hey, it's Will. Will. I just forgot your last name. Will Martin is here.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome.
Oh man! So we've got Clash of the Champions on in the background. Is it playing there where you guys are? Yeah, I see it in the background, right?
It's the only thing that's not playing. You've got old school Impact on that TV. You got New Japan on that, or AAA on that one. New Japan over there, AEW over there. You got, I don't even know what that is. What is
that's
that?
Like MMA or something.
That's something going on. And you've got
the only thing not playing is Clash of the Champions.
Do you think that's because Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson are there? They're like, F that, we're not putting that on here.
We got an Impact. Like
this place is a wrestling museum. The Turnbuckle Wrestling Bar and Grill. It's literally a wrestling museum. I don't know if you've been here, but there's pictures on the wall of everybody. And the owner's a wrestler too, Paul Lee. And I tell you what, it's my first time being here. I didn't even know it existed, but I love it. I want to stay here. There's a ring. We're sitting in a wrestling ring right now, inside of a restaurant.
I like that T-shirt.
Yeah.
Cool.
Gary also has a film podcast called, it used to be called Psychotronic, which was awesome. Now he's got a name that sucks. It's called Cinema Shock or something like that.
Cinema Shock, yeah.
Cinema Shock.
It sucks, man.
WCW Cinema Shock.
Don't join it.
Most people couldn't say Psychotronic, so that was the problem. Couldn't simplify it. Like how he has a show with Amy Dumas called The UFO Show.
And we don't feature... We don't chase UFOs. This is my UFO culture. When we've been everywhere, extraterrestrial highway up to Area 51, Roswell. We interviewed Travis Walton. Look up his story if you don't know it. It's a fun show, man. She's a real sweetheart. Talked to her a couple days ago, and she may be bringing in another show for Side TV featuring another recently departed WWE megastar. She's got blonde hair, and she's beautiful. She's married to somebody in a different promotion. I won't say her name, though.
What's her initials?
Now?
Come on, man, spit it out.
Friends. Well, I don't know if it's going to happen yet, but I got a couple drinks in me, so I like to spill the beans. Any other questions? I'll answer them honestly.
Man,
truth serum.
That's great. Is Stinson as good as he says he is? No, I'm just kidding. All right.
Better. He gave me a chicken wing right in the mouth.
Stuck it in a mouth.
Oh man,
I'm losing my job tomorrow, guys.
You get paid for this?
I'm talking about my
your principal job. That's right.
Oh man. Well, everybody out there, like and share this thing. Tell them we got Stinson live at Turnbuckle Bar and Grill with everybody.
Get Luke up in here, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why are you looking at my mark ass? I'm gonna go get somebody who's a lot bigger than me. Hang on.
Uh-oh. It's about to happen, guys.
Will, have we shared this out on Twitter and everywhere?
I think we're live on Twitter.
They got that feature now on Twitter?
I think we're live on there.
I was so unprepared. We didn't get to schedule this thing. So we don't have as many people as we normally do.
Hey, Rob.
What's up?
Just for our sanity, you might need to mute when you're not actively talking. There's a lot of background noise.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. Let me try to.
There we go. Just, for everyone watching, so it's not just pure chaos.
Guys, I'm sorry for people watching. I know this seems very unorganized. So I'm trying to, we got some of our loyal fans and friends here. So we love you guys for being here and taking part in this with us. I'm going to try to shoot some sharing out because I just, the numbers aren't what they normally are. So I feel like we could kill it here if we get this thing shared out.
Yeah, let's do it.
Will, or no, Rob, while you're there, like are you like in a wrestling ring right now? Is that where you're at? It looks like you're like literally sitting in the middle of a ring.
You're still muted.
I'm just kidding. I knew I was muted. Yeah, I'm inside a ring. They actually do wrestling matches here on Friday nights, man. And I am inside the ring. This is it's crazy, man. It's surreal. I mean, a pro wrestling bar and grill, man.
And you've never invited me and Gary there. That's cool.
Bull crap, bull butter. I'll invite you guys to sleepovers all the time. And you're like, nah, man, I got soccer on Sunday. I got this to do. I got my cinema schlock to do.
I do have soccer. That's true. I like
I'm trying to get either Dave Pinzer. Oh, I think Luke Gallows about to come up here, man. Oh, Drew. And we got some Impact executive. Everybody's being real shady because there's this guy from Impact that's like watching what they do. You know, there's some Impact talent in the house. Let's see if I can't get this joke up again and make him tell us how great Nick Aldis is.
That's Rob's one agenda when he interviews people. So thanks for coming on to the show. We're going to start by talking about Nick Aldis.
Anyway, on location, man. I know this is unusual. Right. On location.
Oh, it's all right. We're just like completely like out of it today. We're just like, I've got like a list of news topics to cover and stuff, but this is why you tune in live, because you never know what's going to happen. So this is fun too.
And thanks for bearing with us, guys. We're just, like we said, we're just trying to get together, talk about wrestling, see what happens. So thank y'all for hanging out. All the NWA fam faithful we are. I think Gary's working on some stuff to get out that you guys can share and get some more people in here before we actually dive into news and whatever Rob's got for us. So thanks for hanging out and being patient.
So I'm working on it. Okay, everything's a process. Everybody just got their food.
I
got a burger floating around here somewhere, and I don't know where it's at. I'm a little upset about that. It's around here somewhere.
Oh, you're all good. We're just taking it easy today. So
cool. Well, let me ask you guys some questions since I know nothing about any of this stuff. I'm literally just the guest. I'm the guest that would not leave at this point. When did you guys get into this sport of pro wrestling? When did you become a major fan, and what was it that made you become a major fan of this silly little thing that we do?
Will, where did you begin?
For me, it was early 90s WCW. Early 90s WCW, man. I started tuning in on TBS and watching, WCW Saturday night, WCW Sunday night main event, just all that stuff, and got super into it. My parents took me to a few live shows here in Greenville, South Carolina. It was a big hotbed for WCW, and before my time, Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling and stuff like that. So just the history of it, and I was a WCW kid, so grew up that way, and then eventually when WWE was all that was left, I was a fan of that. And then when I discovered the new NWA, which we celebrate and elevate on this show, I instantly became a fan. So that's my story.
Man, those chicken wings, they just love them. They're just getting down on those wings. Look at them. Just beautiful angels. No, I think I probably got started originally. Like my first memory. I've told this story before, but my very first memory was Hogan and Andre. Like I remember walking in a room and seeing on TV the time where Andre ripped Hogan's shirt off and betrayed him, and then like Hogan had the blood, and Roddy Piper was there. It's like, you're bleeding, and like touching him, and I was like, who are these giants, and why are they so angry? And they just look terrible and exciting. I don't know. Something about it. That's what got me into it. I was hooked ever since then. Hogan wasn't even my favorite guy or anything. I was just like blown away by like just how huge these guys were and how crazy they are. It all seemed. My first live thing I remember seeing, though, was a WCW event. I remember being there and Vader being there, and Vinny Vegas was there. AKA Kevin Nash, and like I remember Paul Orndorff and Cactus Jack fought, and I thought that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen because they went all over the place, and Cactus Jack made everybody start chanting Paula at Paul Orndorff, and I was so stoked about that whole thing. But I don't know. I think ever since I saw Hogan and Andre on the screen, they were had that larger than life thing, so it was hard to beat. Unmute our friend here so he can.
Hey. I'm about to blow your mind. You ready for this?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Row 22 EE. Pontiac Silver. March 29th, 1987. Guess who was there?
Wow.
This guy right here.
Who?
Me. I was
I
there.
was guessing that was my second guess.
WrestleMania 3. It was. I remember I didn't have a ticket, but my friend Clint's dad got free tickets. So at the very last minute, I'm talking like the show starts in a half an hour. We had to drive an hour and a half to get there. They gave me a ticket. We went up there. I missed the first two matches, and I walked in during Hercules Hernandez and Billy Jack Haynes. And I just remember it stunk to death. It was beyond loud. You couldn't move in that place. The sights and the sounds are something I'll never forget. It's almost like being in a car accident or something. You'll never forget how it felt. And it's just one of those things. WrestleMania 3 was incredible. And I didn't see any of it. And I was only 22 rows back. You got to think I was 13 years old at the time. But the energy in that building, like Gorilla Monsoon would always say, "You can cut it with a knife." And that was a bad Gorilla Monsoon.
That was perfect.
You can cut it with a knife. Okay. But I was like, whoa.
There is a force missing a movable object.
Give me a break. No, but it was incredible. And I didn't realize, you never know when you're living in an iconic moment. You're never going to know that until well after you live it. And I saw the face off, and I saw the body slam, and I stood on my chair, and everything was flying. Literally, I mean, they say that it wasn't 93,173 people, but it sure to hell looked like it and felt like it. So, incredible experience. I'll never forget it, and I have not been to a WrestleMania since.
That's a pretty good one to be your first, though. So, like, I don't know, and that's the feud I remember. I mean, that's the one that got me into it. So, I don't know. Like, did you just never have the desire to go back, or just the opportunity never presented itself? Was it just too much all at once?
I always like to go back. It's just one of those things where I'm old as shit now. Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Oh, you're good, man. You good?
I'm old now, so I like to sit at home.
He said worse.
Listen to the commentators and just watch the production of it. It's more fun that way. And I've always been a germaphobe, too, so not just since the trendy virus.
I was about to say, so now's like the time of your life. This is great.
You have no idea, my friend.
Oh man. Well, Rob, where did you get started? Since we're going in a circle here, telling this story, like where did Rob jump in?
Man, I've never known a day in my life when I was a wrestling fan. I mean, my earliest memories were my brother and I. My brother just beat my tail, man, as a kid. You know, he'd make me wrestle when I didn't want to. We'd make these little cassette tapes. I still have a few of them, and he would even call commentary. And he would make me be one of the bad guys, like Flair or somebody. And he had his own persona called Johnny Quicksilver, and he'd be like, "Gordon Sully here with Johnny Quicksilver," and he would just, Mom would leave for work, and he would just beat my tail, man. But that was probably my earliest memories. Probably 1980, 81. At that time, Tommy Wildfire Rich was everything in Georgia, where I'm from, and I grew up a big Tommy Wildfire Rich fan. I was terrified of Buzz Sawyer, and gradually, because my brother would always make me be the bad guy, I gradually became a Ric Flair fan. And of course, you know, Ric Flair is the greatest of all time, you know, up until we get to Nick Aldis. And, you know, I guess I've never known a day when I wasn't a wrestling fan.
So that's who's paying.
Yeah, that's right.
Are you a cheese stick fan, though?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Eat a
sir,
cheese
man.
stick. I owe you 2 wings. So.
Oh, you good, man.
I think 2 wings equals a whole cheese stick. Pretty sure that's
No. His wife's running the bar, so I mean, you know, sure she eats for free.
We're supposed to be bringing our drinks here in a minute.
Yes, very nice. You're the best. Look at that.
Oh, you got 6 more wings? 6 more chicken
I
sticks?
got 5 more cheese sticks. Now you can have a couple more.
Dang.
I haven't even touched your tater tots yet. You want me to touch your tater tots?
Oh, hey, Bob, hey, help yourself.
This show is off the rails. Let's see here. Ryan Romano, he's a baby compared to us. He's saying his first wrestling experience was Shawn Michaels versus Mr. McMahon, 2006. Look at that. That cheeseburger looks amazing, and I am. Dave Scooby wants to know, was Will a little stinger?
You know, I was a Ric Flair guy, and it wasn't until later that I became a big Sting fan. I always was just primarily a Flair kid, and obviously I don't regret that. But yeah, I mean, I always had the Flair figure. I had when we had wrestling buddies as a kid. I had the Ric Flair one, and my neighbor had the Sting one. So my neighbor was kind of my wrestling buddy, and he was the Sting guy, and I was always Flair. So I was mainly a Flair guy. Now, though, looking back, I'm a huge Sting fan, just because of looking back and really being able, as an adult, to look back and see what he did, for the WCW and things like that. But yeah, in the moment, I was hooked on Ric Flair, and who wouldn't be? I mean, man, nobody was as captivating as him. Even Sting, with all his charisma and energy and all that, it was still Ric Flair. He was the show.
Woodland Goblins in the chat saying, Robert, I saw NWA in 1978 with the fabulous Moolah and the commentator called Women's Championship, the NWA World Girls Championship. LOL. We had a whole thing about the Ladies Championship the other day.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what's written on the belt. And I know, I mean, it's not a big deal, but the point is we call it the Women's Championship, just like we call our title the World's title. So it's one of those things, but yeah, you'll see it called the Girls Championship, the Ladies title, but it's the NWA Women's Championship. That's
almost
what it's
as bad
called.
as the knockout. Oh, wait, is Scott behind me? Yeah, Scott Diamore's behind me, so I better keep it down a little bit.
He really is. He's like 5 feet from us right now. Being a
Dr. Red Tyler's first main event he ever saw live was in the Philadelphia Spectrum. Bob Backlund versus the Magnificent Morocco. And let's see. Turbo, Larry Zbyszko, Von Erichs, Nick Bockwinkel. Let's see. Everybody's just throwing in stuff here. We'll get to some of this news, guys, in a little bit. Turbo says, my first wrestling memory was watching the Von Erichs battle the Freebirds. Also the moment when the Road Warriors turned on Dusty Rhodes and put the spike in his eye. There you go. Dave Scooby, NWA Central States, early 80s in Kansas City. Saw Harley, Flair, and quite a few others. Also, Bruiser Brody. He scared the hell out of me.
I got a story about Bruiser Brody. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's have it.
I had a crush on this girl in grade school, and her name was Holly Goodish. Way before I knew what wrestlers' real names were. And she kept telling me that her uncle, Frank, was a wrestler. And I'm like, really? I had no idea who it was until she told me it was Bruiser Brody. So, Polly Goodish, if you're still out there, you're probably still really hot. And it's really weird to look back at a junior high kid and say, God, she was hot. Especially now that I'm 47 years old. That's creepy beyond another level. But back then, she was like the ultimate, like most beautiful woman in the world, girl in the world. So, Polly, if you're watching this, give me a call. Look me up on the Facebook machine or something. And, let's talk about your Uncle Frank.
Hey, where can she find you on MySpace, man?
MySpace? Well, MySpace. Look me up under Big Bronco Brandon right there. Big fucking Bronco.
Wrestling with the MMA first main event was Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee. Y'all, Sasha and Bailey are fighting it out in the middle of the ring right now. I guess, I don't know. I didn't expect this already, but here we are. I would be honest with you. I'm not paying as much attention as I probably should, but it's all right. We're just hanging out. We're watching our man fumble around his cheeseburger. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Welcome to This is the NWA, watching men eat live.
There you go. All right, well, while we have a guest and we're just all hanging out and we're talking, we might as well dive into some wrestling news. I know Will has sent me a few things that we can discuss. Since we just mentioned WWE, wrestling news sources reporting that WWE's already looking into the idea of running outdoor television shows once their contract with the Amway Center expires. ITRWrestling.com notes the company is preparing to travel again soon and has told talent they should not plan any immediate travel on their own accord. But that contract's through October 31st, I believe, so who knows what's going to happen there. Already about to travel, and they're looking into outdoor venues. That's a big step, I guess, for a wrestling company right now.
Well, sounds familiar. There's another major promotion running in an outdoor venue.
Well, they're coming off of they just have like literally just an outbreak here recently, and so that's why this women's championship match is not taking place. Bailey was supposed to defend against Nikki Cross, if I'm not mistaken. Front rows in the chat could probably tell us that. Nikki Cross wasn't able to compete, and so that's they're not outright saying anything for sure, but supposedly it's related to some COVID-19 outbreak that I've heard about at the NXT Performance Center. And a lot of people have disappeared. That's why you're seeing things like Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly as the main event for TakeOver being pushed and that sort of thing. So anyway, but it's also apparently crossing over with AEW as well. They've had some stuff here recently, like Lance Archer missing out. Just got Eddie Kingston in the main event this past Wednesday,
which was an upgrade if you ask me. That was, whew. Man, him and Mox. And, I was going to mention this too. We don't have to dive too deep into AEW, but, man, I've just totally gotten to the point where the words Dean Ambrose don't even ever enter my mind. I mean, Jon Moxley is a star. He has remade himself. And then, I thought putting Kingston in the ring with him on Dynamite was perfect. I mean, those two guys, that's two fighters, two brawlers, two hardcore, just reckless, badasses. And that was just, I thought that was incredible.
Man, I thought that was freaking fire, man. And I don't know, did you guys think there at the minute, with 2 minutes left, that Kingston was about to win the title? I was like, holy cow, man, Kingston is going to win this title tonight.
I bid on it.
I think my only reason for watching AEW at this point, and it's nothing against the product, it's just I don't have time for it. But Evil East got signed, so I'm like, I do a show with her. She's a friend, and it's like, now I have to watch this.
Can you give us any insight to Evil East and Thunder Rosa? What happened there a couple of weeks ago?
Nothing happened. It was blown out of proportion, I believe. I mean, it was a stiff match. They both worked stiff. Evil East is a badass. Honestly, even before we met and started doing a show together, it's which, by the way, her show is just about traveling. We've done one episode because of COVID, but the one we got out is really good, and we did it in Denver. But she's a stiff worker. I've seen her beat the hell out of people up close. So, and I think Thunder Rosa is kind of the same way. I haven't seen a lot of her work, but I like what I've seen, and now I have a reason to watch AEW for at least, 10, 15 minutes. Sorry.
No, it's okay, man. We have people that are absolutely anti. We try to have an open group because some people are anti AEW, some people are anti WWE, and so it varies from place to place. Like we welcome all opinions here, as long as nobody's a dick about it. So we're pretty cool with everybody. So I personally, I can't help it. I try not to talk about WWE if I can help it most of the time because I just can't find anything nice to say generally.
It's a little ridiculous, though, to be anti-anything. Yes, choose your team. Eagles fans will always hate Giants fans. Giants fans will always hate Cowboys fans. Yes, that's fun. Wear the jersey you want to wear, whatever. But be happy that wrestling is better now. And yes, I will say that with a straight face because, like I said, I've been around the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s, 210s, 220s. I've been there. I've seen everything. And I enjoy wrestling more now than I ever have because it's more exciting now. It's, like I said, it's safer for the wrestlers now. It's a better in-ring product than it's ever been, no matter what anybody says. Go back and watch the Attitude that you're so clamoring for, the Attitude Era. It sucked. Go watch the Truth Commission versus Los Boricuas for 45 minutes. Go ahead and do that. You'll be bored out of your damn mind. Yes, there's not a megastar right now because the fans won't allow there to be a megastar right now. If Stone Cold Steve Austin just now came to WWE, he would not be over. He'd be a Roman Reigns or John Cena, and we all know that because of the fans.
But, I wonder, though, if it's the fans or if it's also part of the booking, though. That's the thing I always think, too.
The booking is just as fine. Yes, they have a little bit of limited freedom, but the first thing that William Regal says to you when you get offered a contract, are you ready for your wrestling career to be over? That's the first thing that William Regal will say to you. because that's the end of your wrestling career. You could be a megastar in Ring of Honor, you could be a megastar anywhere else, but as soon as you come to WWE, you are a part of the movie. Now, actors, sometimes they get more clout. George Clooney can probably change a few lines, can't he? But no. Can, the standard guy, let's say I get a part in a movie, and I say, I don't want to do that. Well, guess what? You're not in the damn movie anymore. That's what the WWE is. It's a movie. Everybody has their part. If they don't like their part, don't work there. And sometimes guys like the ones behind me, like Doc Gallows and stuff, they're not meant for that kind of lifestyle. They need to be creative. They need to do their own things. And that's why we have Talkin' Chopomania, soon Talkin' Chopomania 2. That's why they're in Impact. That's why Scott Moore's hanging out with them every chance he can get. Because they get to be creative and do their own things, and that's awesome. But if you want that big paycheck and you want to be in the big movie, guess what? Do what's on the freaking paper. Do your role. It's an acting gig, okay? I know that's bad to say, but if I can say it, anybody can say it. Because we're not stupid anymore. We're not like, all right, woohoo, Midnight Express going to whoop them tonight. No, it's not that anymore. We know what's going on. The drama behind the scenes, the show now. So, if you don't want to be in the big show, then don't be in the big show. Go make yourself something out of yourself elsewhere. Doc Gallows has. That's why people gravitate to that. He's awesome. He's doing his own thing, and everybody loves him for it. And that's all I got to say about that. There should be no division. Like, I hate AEW. Guess what? I don't watch AEW, but I don't hate it. I wish everybody safety first and the best of luck and make a ton of money. And put Vince McMahon on his ass for a minute and let him fight back, because that's when he's at his best. So, it's stop being picky, everybody. It's dumb. Be happy that there are like 7 major promotions now. 7! Seven. I'm not going to sit here and list them off because you know what they are, but 7 major promotions a couple years ago. Guess how many there was? 1! Be happy, people. Stop being little bitches.
I'm not behind everybody just completely hating other promotions by any means, because there are other options. You can just watch something else, which is generally what I try to do. Now, granted, doing a show like this, we have to reference WWE every once in a while because they're the big dog. They're the main promotion right now. So exactly. It's the big dog.
I watch WWE, and I look. I watch WWE as a 40-year fan, and I look at some stuff and I go, oh my God, stop it. Just stop it. But then I watch, other promotions, and I say the same thing. And then there's some things I go, wow, that's amazing. And then there's other things.
That's a big dude, man.
Oh, you're talking about Gallows?
Gallows is a big dude, man.
He's got a big heart, too. It's a good dude, man. It's good to know him.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, you sound like you're cut from the same cloth as us in terms of how we view wrestling. We are critical, the same way we'd be critical, to your point, of a movie, and a script and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
But we're always pushing the agenda around here that there's enough wrestling for everybody, and you can like what you like, and you don't have to bury what you don't like. And so we're of the mindset here on this show that any good wrestling.
The problem is so many people watch wrestling just so they can give their opinion. That seems like the reason that like a quarter of the crowd is like, I'm going to watch this Raw tonight just so I can say what's bad about it. Wrestling's so much more fun when you don't do that garbage. Just see what happens, and whatever happens is meant to happen. If you walk outside and you slip on the ice and you land on your ass and you break your spine, guess what? That was meant to happen. You don't have to like it. That's just what was meant to happen. And then you just recover from it. That's it.
I'm going to tell somebody why it fucking sucked, though.
Do what?
I said I'm definitely going to tell somebody why that fucking sucked, though. When I slipped on the
why
ice.
Though? You guys do a show, so it kind of makes sense. Oh no, absolutely, yeah. You should post about that and say, "Hey, get some salt, like not table salt, get the salt, get that spray out there, or get a heated drive-through if you got the money, whatever." But you know what I'm saying. It's more fun and you're not going to be positive. But heels don't mean anything anymore because the fans won't let it mean anything anymore, if that makes any sense to you. You can't have a mega face anymore. You can't. It's done. That's over with. Because the fans won't let it happen. But then they'll complain that there's no mega face. You can't win with the fans. Vince knows that all the way down to the newest indie worker. They should know that at this point. So you got to figure out what's next.
I just feel like there's got to be a modern way of doing things. Like, I almost want to say, like, was it on here I was talking about, or maybe it was in our Discord I was talking about the other day with like Jim Cornette. Like, I'm like, that guy has, no matter what you think about him, and the guy's not even in the business, but people in the business still talk about what that guy thinks. And
I love him.
And he's and I was like, he's found a way to be a heel. Like, a lot of people still hate Jim Cornette right now, and I'm sure that half of it is just because he's got a podcast he's got to get over, and so it's just interesting. I don't know. I feel like he's almost found a way to be like a really huge heel in modern times.
The guy that owns this bar has made no waves in professional wrestling. If anything, kind of and I'm not saying this in a bad way, it's kind of an afterthought, kind of just like a parody of Ric Flair, But he's managed to make, I'm not sure that's how he made most of his money, but he owns this wrestling bar. There's a ring we're sitting here doing this from. He's made money in the wrestling business, one way or another. Doc Gallows gets fired. A couple months later, Talking Shop Mania, trends number 3 in the world, or at least in the country. Mm-hmm. He figured out how to make money from wrestling without the big league. So I run a television network that was derived from a wrestling promotion that I ran for 13 years, and I wrestled for 18 years. I figured out how to make money from wrestling. That is what you have to do. I respect anybody who can make money in this business whatsoever. I mean, I'm not talking about gimmick table money, which I used to sell my own trail mix called Bishop's Nuts. I did. Everyone's over there like, I can't sell any pictures. I'm like, hey, put my nuts in your mouth. They're nice, sweet, and salty. Yeah, put them in your mouth. And then people line up and buy my freaking nuts. So you got to think outside the box. You got to do different things. I'm not making that shit up either. I believe it, man. I also had peanut butter, too. I don't even want to tell you what I said to pitch that. But you just have to think outside the box and figure out how to do something new. I started a television network. I didn't want wrestling on the network. But now I have all these guys and girls, and it's like unbelievable, like looking back at it now. So nobody should be talking down. Everybody should be cheering each other. If you do talk down, be a fan and talk down that way. You suck, whatever. I hate you for doing that. Be a damn fan, man. I miss wrestling fans. I really do. You know who's an awesome wrestling fan? A kid. A kid with they don't care what the ratings are. Kids don't care about what the freaking book was. Kids don't care about who's penciling the freaking card that night. Kids are awesome. And if you want to know why it's a PG product, because they want more kids. And I don't blame them. But hey, it's pretty cool to meet you guys. I got to go back to work here, man, but I really appreciate it. I'm going to try to fire some people your way, brother.
Appreciate it, bro.
Okay.
Nice to meet you guys.
Appreciate it, Brian.
Maybe we can have you on sometime when you're not doing this thing, and we can talk about your network and stuff and what's going on.
I'll give him my card. How about that?
All right, perfect. Sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Love the beers.
Thank you.
You can have that last cheese stick.
Oh, there's 2 here. There's one for both of us.
Well, that's both you.
I want one.
I got you, man. Right here. Here. Open up.
All right. Rob, welcome back. It's good to have you, friend.
Woo! It's cool, man. I got some big time names behind me, man. It's just crazy.
What are you yelling back there?
Yeah, so let me mute myself here until you address me directly.
Hey, Rob, I was just we thought the guy was about to diss Paul Lee, and then there was going to be we were going to get our old match in that ring tonight.
No, I mean Paul knows. I mean, Paul is a curiosity. He's people respect him. I think that at one point when Talking Shop Mania was trending 3rd in the nation on Twitter, Paul was trending too for a while because everybody thought that his 5-minute entrance was just so horrible. It was amazing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Paul's great. I mean, he loves this business. He lives, breathes, and sleeps this business. His sons are about this business. His oldest son, Lex Lee, or his second oldest son, Lex Lee, is a legitimate tag team contender who will make his name in Ring of Honor or Impact or somewhere. I mean, he's going to be somebody. And it's like Paul always says, when I walk in the airport, people will come up to me and say, hey, I don't know who you are, but I know you're somebody. And that's just how Paul is. I mean, and hopefully maybe we can get him on here in a minute. But he's Yeah, I mean, Paul realizes what his niche is in the business. He knows he's not going to headline WrestleMania. He knows that, but he loves the business, and he loves people who love wrestling. He is all about showcasing the best talent, and that's what WrestleJam is all about. And that's why he's had people like Nick Aldis, Lindsey Snow, Road Warrior Animal, whoever's anybody, Crimson. That's why he's had all these guys in WrestleJam, because he celebrates the sport of professional wrestling in the best way possible that he has the ability to do.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a cool thing, and everything you've ever told us about Paulie, we love. So we'd love to have him on sometime and talk to him. So, Rob, if it's cool with you guys, we'll move on into some wrestling news. For everybody who doesn't know, I did check in with the Observer just to kind of get an idea of what was going on here. There's 2 scheduled matches that were removed from this Clash of the Champions card. Earlier today, WWE announced in the pre-show that Nikki Cross, Shayna Baszler, and Nia Jax aren't medically cleared to compete. Bayley was scheduled to defend against Nikki Cross tonight. Baszler and Jax were supposed to defend against the women's tag titles, or supposed to defend the women's tag titles against Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan. Bayley did appear. She got surprised by Asuka. Shayna Baszler showed up. Kind of a weird scenario, but you're seeing like a lot of the original pre-show matches get moved in to the main card here. I don't see anything necessarily saying this is COVID related, but I have heard that rumor. So I don't want to sit here and act like I know anything that other people don't know, but I don't know if you guys have seen anything about that, but there was supposedly a COVID outbreak, and that's the rumor going around.
Yeah, I haven't heard that specific rumor or anything substantial to back it up, but I know it's been well documented over the past week, the outbreak and the caution being taken over at AEW with some of those guys. But I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, somebody said it in the chat earlier, but Florida's open for business. I don't think they have any kind of regulations going on right now, and that's fine. But that does carry a risk, and sometimes stuff like this happens. And with something like this, with this pandemic, and how quickly it can spread, through small groups and stuff like that. I mean, it just takes one person being exposed to kind of shut down a lot of different things. And so, it could just be one person, and maybe, Nikki and Shayna and Nia all were in contact with that person, and maybe they're just kind of under quarantine as a precautionary measure. But, again, that's not confirmed, so we don't know. It's just speculation at this point.
Where am I at on this pay-per-view that Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton are already fighting on the show right now? Is this the end of the show? Somebody tell me what's going on here. It's only 9:00. What's happening? It's weird. Just saying. All right. Will's shaking his head, so I don't know. I'm also highlighting Will, and I apologize.
You're welcome, everyone.
Well, you're the face of the show. I mean, you're you're the image we use typically on all banners and streams and that sort of thing. We just have to, show you off. We still have Roman and Jey Uso, according to Front Row. I love having that guy around. He helps me out with all the WWE stuff. I am no bueno at WWE news. And so.
But as he did just mention, we had a big show coming and choke slamming Randy Orton onto the announce table. So there's that.
That did happen. Big Show made his big debut. I imagine for the podcast, I hope you guys love live shows, because this show has been all over the place today. Rob, let's talk about something Rob would know about. Larry Zbyszko appeared on the Arm Drag Takedown podcast, and he discussed teaming with Arn Anderson. He said, I wasn't big on tag teaming. I like being a singles guy. Usually got more money, more recognition, and the top spot. Especially at my age and doing what I did, I didn't mind tag teaming because it wasn't quite as brutal. Even though it was brutal, it wasn't quite as brutal. Arn was great. Arn was the perfect guy. I loved being teamed with Arn. Arn had the look and the knowledge, especially with the way people thought of me. People really thought I was an asshole. Arn was a fun guy to travel with. He's a funny guy. He also talked about what he missed from professional wrestling, and he said,
This is you right here, bro.
Oh, that's me. Where did that come?
Thanks, Rob.
I thought I was muted, man. My bad.
I was like, what the hell's happening here? I don't know. Just so you know, I asked our producers if this was as weird as it seemed, and our producers have told me that this seems fun and spur of the moment. So I'm rolling with it. And, so anyway, the Larry Zbyszko thinks what he misses from professional wrestling is people could get emotionally involved in the suspense. When something happened, they blew the roof on off the place. In my case, I was followed down the highway. I got stabbed in the ass in a riot. My car was smashed. I had to hide on other guys' trunks. The difference today's humanity doesn't believe anything they see on TV anymore. One thing professional wrestling has lost hold of is that emotional connection with audiences. Well, they should start broadcasting live on CNN, I bet, because some people get emotionally involved in some stuff that goes on on some of the news channels. So
You're not going there.
Oh, James Lawrence is here. What does he miss? He missed the whole AEW discussion. We've had every AEW star on today. James Lawrence, sorry. No, anyway, go ahead, Will. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just saying we're not going to get into the CNN thing you just mentioned.
Oh, yeah. No. Now's probably a weird time to jump into that.
No, I love Larry Zbyszko. This story jumped out to me just because, he's a legend in the business from back in the time that we all know and love, the days of the early NWA. Well, not early. It had already been around for a while, but when we were first starting to get into wrestling, and I remember Larry a lot in WCW as both a wrestler and an announcer. So I like hearing his take on stuff, and it was cool. And Front Row just mentioned that he's actually going to be on the Nation Show next month. So stay tuned if you haven't subscribed to the Nation Show. Great group of guys, great show. But apparently Larry Zbyszko is going to be on their show sometime next month. So I'm excited to check that out. But I mean, yeah, I think he had some fair points. The first little part that he mentioned was just kind of a fun anecdote about tag team versus singles wrestler from the point of a wrestler, which I can understand. Now, we all know I'm a tag team nerd, so I would prefer tag team. But, his point was fair. But, I think what he said in the second half that you mentioned really resonates with a lot of the things that we say. And I think it resonates with the fact that, why we are NWA fans, because that authenticity and that storytelling and that investment. Because, I mean, man, when he's talking about that and he's talking about the excitement and the anticipation building for a match and then having those like big moments, I immediately think of the Crockett Cup 2019 and Nick Aldis and Marty Scurll. I mean, for me, that was a moment like that I haven't seen in any other promotion, any other storyline in professional wrestling in years. And so I think his point is fair, but I think the NWA is doing it the right way, and they're building these stories. And so I agree with what he said, and think that the NWA is continuing to kind of be the beacon for the kind of pro wrestling that he's talking about.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Will. And James Lawrence pointing out Larry Zbyszko's former AWA world champ. Rob, did you want to chime in there?
No, I mean, I think Will hit everything on the hit the nail on the head. I love Larry Zbyszko. I don't think of Larry Zbyszko primarily in a tag team capacity just because I remember him as the AWA World Champion. Ironically, it was I don't know if this is ironic or not, but it was during Larry Zbyszko's tenure as AWA Champion that the AWA was stripped of its world title status by PWI just because of his antics and the irregularity of title defenses during those days. But man, I love Larry Zbyszko, and his contributions to the tag team scene were certainly remarkable and noteworthy. I just have a hard time thinking of him as a tag team guy, just because for so long, I mean, he was the guy that had, the great feud with Bob Backlund and the great feud with all these other guys, with Bruno and all that. And so, We could go on all day about Larry Zbyszko.
Yeah, absolutely. I was today years old when I learned that Nick Bockwinkel was in the discussion to become an NWA World's Heavyweight champion. Just on a side note, I don't know why I'm talking about it. We just I guess because the AWA came up, but I was listening to a podcast today, and it was Meltzer actually talking about it. But somebody wrote in and asked about that if that was true, because they had heard that rumor, and he said that they're at one point, Nick Bockwinkel was going to replace Harley, like that Harley was kind of worn down or something, and there was discussion about bringing Nick Bockwinkel in as the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. But there was something about, I think he gave exact numbers, if I'm not mistaken. He actually said Nick was making $150,000 for 15 dates a year as the AWA World's Heavyweight Champion, and Harley was making like $500,000, but it was like, for 300 dates a year, and so, like it was considered, but Nick was just eventually like, that's just not something I want to do, and I can't commit that kind of time to this. Like I'm enjoying the days off, basically, and that's what sealed it for that ever happening.
Right. I mean, the NWA has always been the territory of the traveling champion. Even in the mid to late 80s, you get to a point where your WWF champion, which was normally Hogan, would defend the belt, 3 or 4 times a year. And there were times, don't get me wrong, there were times in the NWA when that happened. And we've been in a lot of debates during COVID, especially about defending the legitimacy of the 700 days with COVID and whatnot, and us drawing the comparison between him and Earl Caddick. But it's not uncommon.
We got some Jell-O shots that the girls forgot to get out.
They're selling Jell-O shots back here.
$2 for Jell-O shots.
$2.
I love it.
They grab me a couple.
Come on there, Jacob.
Yeah, go ahead and get some over here.
Coming. We might get the Nature Boy up here in a second. We might get the champ up here in a second. Holy cow, he's coming this way. He's coming this way. Anyway, what I was saying before the champ gets in here, there he is. Woo! Woo!
The man. Hey, what's happening, brother? The Nature Boy is here, baby.
Woo!
This is the real Nature Boy. Woo!
Oh, love it.
Cutting a promo
That's
live
awesome.
right here, man.
We're sitting here talking about the legacy of the NWA title, and then a man who should be challenging for the NWA title is
You know what?
right here.
I've been trying to talk Nick into giving the Nature Boy a title shot for years. I mean, you think about it. When was the NWA? 1948?
Something like that. Yeah, 48, about right.
I mean, if you want to look at it in real championship, this is the real championship title. I mean, we got every organization out there got a title belt. But do they mean anything? Not to the Nature Boy. You see, because the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, gave me an NWA title. He gave it to me. Signed it. Go on YouTube. Ric Flair endorses Nature Boy Paul Lee. He gives me his NWA title belt. But I don't like nothing for free. I want to earn it. I got a little bucket list. It's a little check marks. It's from being a millionaire. Okay, check that off two or three times. Owning damn 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 businesses. Check that off.
Been to Cancun.
Check that off. On Cancun. Boom. On Ringo, Georgia. Boom. But NWA title shot. That's at the list. The Nature Boy wants it, Nicky, baby. Now, people don't know, but you have party with the real Nature Boy. The real one. Yeah. Very few people have Nick trusted to party with. But he has me. You know why? Because I'm the real deal, baby. Woo! So, Nick, all business aside, I want a title shot. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Paul Lee will make you famous. Woo! Woo! Woo!
His checklist a little different than mine. I paid my car payment. That was the big one for me this month.
I pay my car payment check.
I don't have payments. I just buy shit.
But are we at least going to get Paul Lee at Talking Shop Mania 2? That's coming up.
Oh, Talking Shop Mania 2, the Nature Boy is making a special appearance. You're going to love it. Did you like Talking Shop Mania 1? You're going to love Nature Boy and Talking Shop Mania 2, baby. I'm going to own the show, baby. I'm going to be the man. Woo!
Hey, there are supposed to be a lot of people there, right?
They're supposed to be. Yeah. Yeah. See what happened when you drink too much tequila?
Been there. That's also on my checklist for today.
Tequila? Yeah. I had down only one bottle of tequila tonight. Hell, I done checked off 2. So what the hell? Well, I'm sorry. Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt y'all's session here, guys.
No, we're happy to have you. It's an honor, sir.
Okay, well, guys, just remember, you can woo me, just don't boo me. Woo! Woo! See y'all, guys.
Thanks, Champ.
Love it. Hey, what other podcast are you going to get an impromptu promo from the Nature Boy? You tell me that.
Just this one, baby. This is it. Where you gonna be?
Crazy. Hey, a couple people asking in the chat. Rob, what's the name of that bar you're in right now?
This is called. It's called Turnbuckles Bar and Grill. Paul Lee has a number of businesses. He's got a gym called Turnbuckle Fitness, and then of course the seat of the American Wrestling Federation is the beautiful Circus 10 Arena, right in downtown. Well, it's not downtown. It's off of Battlefield Parkway, right off of I-75 in Ringgold, Georgia. Circus 10 Arena, Turnbuckle Bar and Grill, and Turnbuckle Fitness. He's got a little enterprise here, and it's really, really cool. Very, very vibrant.
Is that place open like every day? I mean,
every day, baby.
Lunch and dinner.
Lunch and dinner.
Nice.
I want to say they're closed on Monday and Tuesdays, but okay. Wednesday through Sunday they're open.
So if anybody here is driving through Chattanooga, traveling through, stop in, tell them the Bearded Trio sent you.
Sure, they'd appreciate that. We'd appreciate the plug. So definitely do that. Tuned into some Clash of Champions real quick. Shawn Michaels just super kicked Randy Orton off the top of the ambulance. This match has been going on for 30 minutes, I feel like. And
we have to mention former NWA World's Champion Christian just gave Randy Orton a beating backstage. So lots happened in this match, apparently.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Drew's back is tore up. Like it's he's a bleeding. All right, let's see what else is going on in the news. Oh, hey, I'm going to mention this just because, I'm not trying to get all political at any point necessarily, but it's worth mentioning, and we cover all wrestling news. So today, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson posted a 7-minute video where he endorsed Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for the upcoming U.S. presidential elections. He's said that he's a registered independent with centrist ideologies, but after a meeting with the two of them, he feels they're the best choice to lead the country. He did not say whether or not he met with Donald Trump, but he's never said publicly before that he's ever endorsed a political candidate. So he said that his father used to say, respect is earned before it's given. And he liked how Kamala Harris and Joe Biden answered his questions of how they'll earn the respect of the American people if elected. So just to throw that in there, The Rock was in the news today endorsing for the first time a presidential candidate. It is an election year after all. So here we are.
Yeah.
Perfect time for Rob to freeze up on screen so we can just casually move on from there. And I can't think of anything more awkward except if I were just to randomly talk about how the last guy talked about Rob's tater tots. And if you're concerned about your tater tots, you should check out manscaped.com. Using the promo code NWA pod, you can get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. I have to throw that out there. Wrestling with the MMA did mention it in the chat here. And so I want to give him the props he deserves. Do you know I've emailed these guys? I haven't even heard from them. I don't know how we're doing, what's happening, nothing with Manscaped. So it's a weird relationship we have right now. But they did send us free stuff, so can't complain. I still use it. I'm sure Will does.
Oh, yeah.
All right. This is a really weird thing that's happening with Rob. No, he went away when I tried to highlight him.
Well, we'll see if he comes back. He's obviously having a fun night. So
no, there he is.
All right, go ahead. You were talking about Biden and Kamala.
Oh, we moved on.
We already did the Manscaped promo now.
Oh, what?
Yeah, we did your two favorite things. We talked about politics and manscaping, and you missed it. So,
Yeah.
Well, manscaping is one of my favorites. Politics is actually one of my least favorites, especially now. I'm not even gonna go there, man. I'm done.
Yeah,
let's skip that.
We didn't. We didn't. Go
Yeah,
there.
I'm trying to keep all of my 600 followers on Twitter, man.
I hear you. So I guess we would be remiss if we didn't throw in here too that some other news that happened this week. It would be that sorry, I don't know what just happened there. That Joe Laurinaitis passed away, aka Road Warrior Animal. Obviously, I think all of us know who the Road Warriors were / the Legion of Doom. I feel like there's no good way we're just going to throw in a tribute right now or anything like that. But I just did want to make sure that we brought that up. And my personal memories of the Legion of Doom probably started more so in the WWE, honestly. Like I probably picked up a little Legion of Doom around that time. That was my time with like Bret Hart. They helped the Hart Foundation beat Demolition for the tag team titles at like SummerSlam 91, I want to say. And they just seemed like a badass team. I was complaining in the Discord the other day to somebody that it was super weird. They were managed by a puppet at one point in the WWE. And then there was like some weird stuff where Hawk ended up falling off the Titantron and like some weird stuff like that. But going back, and one of the things this podcast has made me able to do is really go back and appreciate who they were prior to all that, just how dominant and crazy they were. And you always hear the story about the Road Warrior pop and that sort of thing. But anyway, I thought I'd give a chance to you guys if you wanted to, just to talk about the Road Warriors for a minute, or Road Warrior Animal, just to pay respects there.
Yeah, I'll let Rob finish out this because he probably has his fandom. I'm sure goes way back to their pre-WWF days. But I'm kind of like you, Gary. That was my first exposure to him, and the bright red shoulder pads, and I mean they were just badass dudes. Awesome tag team, and it has been a pleasure since I've become an adult wrestling fan and gone back and watched some of the archives and gone back to before I started watching WCW and stuff, and really being able to appreciate them as the Road Warriors and all the stuff that we have access to now through the network and that kind of stuff, and just learning their history. And so I mean it was such a crushing news to hear that on I think it was Wednesday when that came out. And I mean, rest in peace. I mean, that's totally unexpected. And wishing his family peace and serenity during this time. I know it's tough, and for all of us here in the wrestling community that are mourning that loss.
Yeah, I don't know where you start with the Road Warriors. I mean, they were trailblazers. They were one of the most imitated tag teams ever. They started the whole face paint thing. I mean, they defied the whole heel babyface dichotomy. I mean, this was a team that put out the eye of Dusty Rhodes with a spike and were cheered while they were doing it. And at a time when heels didn't get cheered, they were the only team in the history of the world to win the tag team championships in all the major promotions in the world at the time, which in those days was the AWA, the WWF, and the NWA. They, they had the 6th longest AWA World Tag Team Championship reign of all time, and a championship that dated back to 1960, held by 50 different tag teams or so. Their NWA and WWF tag team tenures weren't as long or distinctive, but they did it. And they were feared, universally respected, the most dominant tag team of all time. Can I say they were the best tag team? Maybe. I mean, you have to think about tag teams like the Midnight Express, the Fabulous Freebirds. There are a lot of tag teams out there that hold claim to that, but they were definitely the most dominant, the most unique, and probably in the mid-1980s, as far as like elevating the tag team scene as being a main event quality gimmick. I hate to say gimmick for tag teams, but they put tag team wrestling on a par with the singles championship. And there will never be another Road Warriors ever. Anybody else who – it's basically like this. And it's like in philosophy. Everything is a footnote to Aristotle and Plato. Everything is a footnote to them. In tag team wrestling, everything is a footnote to the Road Warriors. They're the greatest tag team of all time. And, I had my own personal experiences with Animal. I never got to meet Hawk personally, but I did get to meet Animal personally. And he was such a giving guy, such a kind guy. Late in their lives, both of them became devoted Christians. Not that I'm not trying to push any agenda here, but simply that they became focused on a worldview that was about something other than themselves. Very family oriented, and I'm so happy, and I take solace in the idea that Hawk and Animal are together again. You know what I mean? The Legion of Doom are reunited, and there'll never be another Road Warriors. That's my
Hope
truth.
they kicked open the pearly gates with Iron Man playing. Like, that would have been the best. But yeah, absolutely. Well said, Rob. And I don't know that anybody would argue they're the best wrestling team in the world, like as far as technical skill, but they were absolutely, they had to have been arguably the best team all around. Just like, and there's a thing called the Road Warrior Pop, and it doesn't exist for no reason. Like, people still talk about that to this day. So very cool. Thank you for that, Rob, giving us a little bit of background there. Trying to think of what we should actually go into next after this.
Well, we can mention, from one Nature Boy to the other on Clash of Champions, Ric Flair just drove the ambulance with Randy Orton in the back off the set. So a little appearance there from the other Nature Boy. So
the other Nature Boy, I like that.
Well, for this show, because we just had a Nature Boy live. So
we had the real Nature Boy live. Get it right, the real Nature Boy, Paul Lee, baby.
I love that it's out on Twitter, thanks to Wrestling with the MMA, that we just had the real Nature Boy on the show right now. You got to be here live. Woo! Let's see what else we got here. Well, NWA alum Homicide has been announced, obviously, for Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. I think we covered that, but it looks like he's going to be taking on Filthy Tom Lawler from MLW. So Barnett made that announcement on his Twitter account, and so this card's starting to take shape in recent days. I don't know. I'm just excited. I really want to watch Bloodsport this time around, so I'm interested in what happens. We got AEW World Champion Jon Moxley confirmed for the event, going to be taking on the Dirty Daddy, Chris Dickinson, of all people.
Man.
We've been seeing this guy pop up all over the place on UWA Primetime Live, and here he is. He's taking on Jon Moxley. And that's pretty interesting. So you got Homicide and Filthy Tom Lawler, and the main event, obviously, I guess, will be Jon Moxley versus Chris Dickinson. Just to throw it in there for everybody who's interested before you guys go, matches announced for the show include Simon Grimm versus Matt Mikowski and Eric Hammer versus Cal Jack. Other wrestlers slated to appear on the card include Josh Alexander, Calvin Tankman, Lindsey Snow, the American Kaiju, Killer Kelly, Alexander James, Davey Boy Smith Jr., and Allison Kay. If there is not an Allison Kay versus American Kaiju Lindsey Snow match, I don't know what the hell anybody's
Oh my
doing.
gosh,
over there.
Man.
You speaking God's truth right now, bro.
I don't know what they're thinking if that's not the thing. But anyway, I'm excited about Bloodsport. It sounds pretty awesome.
Hey, listen, guys, we're about to wind down here, so I'm gonna disconnect, and I will rejoin you guys here in about 20 minutes.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good, Rob. We will see you soon. Godspeed.
Enjoy your.
Rob,
I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna,
come back with Luke Gallows, or don't come back. I'm just kidding, Rob. We'll talk to you later. All right.
Yeah, well, that does lead us into I don't know if you wanted to cover this down the line, but we've got Primetime Live coming up with some stuff on there, and Allison Kay is going to make an appearance and things like that. So I don't know if you want to get into that a little bit.
Yeah, do you have the card pulled up there? Because
I don't, man, but I can pull it up rather quickly.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm just gonna goog it here.
I do know that there was, a change to the card with Serena Deeb. Kind of self-quarantining. I think she herself, has not been confirmed positive for COVID, but I think she was in contact with somebody maybe related to the AEW outbreak that has happened in the last week. And so just as precaution, so that match has been changed. And
yeah, Allison Kay, it looks like it's going to be taking on Nicole Savoy, who I'm not super familiar with, but I can say I think that is who Allison Kay actually competed against at Bloodsport previously. So kind of interesting that she's going to be making a comeback there. So no word on Nicole Savoy being at Bloodsport again, but just kind of an interesting idea. So I feel like that's still going to be a very solid match. We wish Serena Deeb the best. I hope she makes her way back. But Will, I saw some other stuff there. I was trying to pull up the actual card.
Yeah, I've got it right here. So going from the bottom up, I think we all know what the main event is, but they're advertising Chris Dickinson is back. And so I don't know if that means he'll be in a match or if he's going to cut another promo.
Yeah, they didn't really announce anything, but he was certainly calling out he was calling out Gentleman Jervis last time, who I guess we should mention we've had some interaction too.
Yeah, that was interesting. When I say we, I mean mainly Rob. Was very, very unfiltered with his criticism of the Friendship Farm, and that apparently got to them, and they were true gentlemen about it. They actually put us over on Twitter and tweeted out a link to the show and kind of tongue in cheek said, "Oh, here's some guys that were critical of us, but go check them out and give them a follow." So I thought that was classy. And just to clear the air here, we don't say anything negative about their ability. We just felt like that gimmick was out of place in the match. So totally respect those guys as performers, as wrestlers. And it just, with the bigness of that card on Tuesday, it just felt a little out of place. So Rob might have a little stronger opinion, but for me, that's kind of where I landed on that. But that was interesting. And thanks to those guys for giving us the shout out. We appreciate that. But yeah, just going from Chris Dickinson, we've also got CC Chanel versus Ruby Reyes, which will be pretty good. I'm interested to see those two for the first time. It'll be my first exposure to them. We've got Papa Don versus Remy Marcel, two new names for me as well. Gary, are you familiar with either of them?
I'm really not, man. I'm excited to see them, but yeah, this card's full of a lot of people I'm really never seen before in my life.
Yeah, so we've got Allison Kay again, Nicole Savoy, and then we've got SoCal Distancing versus the Real Money Brothers. So that should be a good one. Interested to see that tag match. And then, of course, main event of the night and the match we are waiting for. We've been talking about it for a long time. Aaron Stevens versus Trevor Murdoch for that NWA national title.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, we talked about the Real Money Brothers last week, that we were kind of fans of their style of wrestling, and they were notoriously in the match with the Friendship Farm, and we were just like, well, these guys look like they fight. And not to dredge all that back up, but I am interested to see the Real Money Brothers in like a knockdown drag out brawl, and I feel like this match could be that. So it'll be interesting to watch that. But yeah, I mean, we've talked about Aaron Stevens versus Trevor Murdoch for a long time, ever since before quarantine. That match being a possibility, and the way things could go with that. And they finally released the interview yesterday of the sit down with Sean Mooney between the two. And so hopefully everybody saw what I saw, at least, that there was a different side of, it felt like that we were about to glimpse a different side of Aaron Stevens than we had ever seen before, that he was kind of hinting at a more devious side of himself, or like, I just thought that was kind of interesting. But anyway, they've done a good job of building so far. I'm excited to see what happens when you go back through, and I have here this past week gone back through a lot of the Power episodes, just looking for clips and for different reasons. But they were building this match. I mean, they were working towards it happening, and it was going to be a thing on Crockett Cup, and it just never got to happen. And while it's unfortunate that we've had this long pause in between, this is not a match without any kind of backstory. I mean, these two were destined to face each other and had tried to face each other actually on one episode of Power. I want to say it was 17 or 18. They fought to a time limit draw previously in a national title match. And that's kind of what, if you watch that Sean Mooney interview, Trevor's talking about in that interview, is like, yeah, I watched you, like, you did everything you could to just survive. Like, that's what you were trying to do, and it's a joke. And Aaron Stevens very much has this attitude of like, my job as this champion is to hold on to this title for as long as I possibly can, and that's what I'm doing. And so it's just I don't know. I kind of dug that attitude from him that he kind of had, and he talks about that there's sides of me that you haven't seen yet, that you don't want me to bring out, and it just, I don't know. I really dug Aaron Stevens there, so I'm interested to see how this match goes with Trevor Murdoch on Tuesday night. That's the one I'm most excited for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, you bring up a good point. As fans of the NWA, we do have, access via the NWA YouTube channel to those last few episodes of Power that aired. And so go back and watch those and kind of reintroduce yourself to the build if you haven't watched them since they aired live or when they first came out, just to kind of reacquaint yourself with this feud. And yeah, it's a legit feud. I love that they're paying this off like this. And I say paying it off, we may have a series of matches for the title between these two guys, because I think there's definitely potential and there's some fuel for the fire there. I thought Aaron Stevens' promo on Tuesday was great. I would love, to see a rebuttal or anything from Trevor Murdoch. I'm sure we'll see a promo before the match on Tuesday night, as they've been doing, kind of having those promos throughout the night from, each of the champion, the challenger from the main event. So I'm sure we'll hear from Trevor. But yeah, I mean, this, like you said, I mean, it's a legit match that they've already put some creative storytelling and some build behind it that we're actually getting to see. And so that's exciting. I'm super excited for it.
Absolutely. And so let's see here. What else do we have today, Will? We've got so much on the agenda. I was worried we wouldn't have anything to talk about, and then Rob shows up in the middle of this
in a bar,
hanging out with people. The Nature Boy Paul Lee shows up on our show, and yeah, so whatever. I mean, there's lots of other news out there. The Nature Boy Ric Flair revealed a look on his Instagram for Adidas. You got a Nature Boy line of TV shoes, or TV shoes, tennis shoes.
Those are my TV shoes.
That's what they should be called.
For us,
but
for us, we have TV shoes because we don't play sports.
oh, oh, got me. Hey, Will, can you hear me okay? I feel like our connection got weird for a sec. I'm going to say no. Oh, no. What's...
You guys there? Trying to reconnect this thing. Let me know if you guys can see me. Trying to get Gary back in here. I don't know, technical difficulties with his internet, maybe. I'm not sure. Trying to get it back going. Sweet. Hey, guys. Thanks for bearing with us. What a fun show, man. What a fun show, you know? So trying to get Gary back on. So cool. Well, we'll keep working on it. Maybe Gary needs to just restart his computer or something. I don't know. Technology, you know? But yeah, so talking about Primetime Live, let's see, Scooby mentioned that there was a response from Trevor Murdoch. I totally missed that. I got to go look that up. Totally interested in that and seeing his response and where that's going to go. But excited for that. How are you guys feeling about Primetime Live? Obviously, we're all excited for that main event, but who else are you guys excited about seeing on Tuesday night? I'm really excited about that tag match, as I mentioned before. Real Money Brothers and SoCal Distancing, seeing that tag match. And I really love, as a tag team guy, I love that they're spotlighting a good tag match every week, it seems like. And still, waiting to see Wolf Zaddies and the Tribe again. I think those guys really put on a hell of a match, and I'd love to see them, kind of come back at it and maybe a rematch or have them go against someone else. But, I think we're learning that with a 90-minute show, there's only so much you can do. So they're kind of having to space out this kind of stuff. I mean, we haven't seen the TV champ, his name has already escaped me, Dan Joseph. We haven't seen him again since that first week, and so hopefully we'll get to see another match for that TV title. Still questions in the air, as we talked about with Zicky Dice and the NWA tag titles and what's going to happen with that. So there's still a lot to be talked about, and a lot that we're, as NWA fans especially, are really wanting to see. So what are you guys excited about? I'm just sitting here all alone. I have no Gary. I have no Rob. So I need you guys to give me your thoughts on what you're looking for. And I guess the other, piece of news that we can really hit on is, this week we did find out that Royce Isaacs has been granted his release from the NWA. We don't know what that means for him. Don't know if he's still gonna appear or be able to appear, and what capacity he's gonna be sticking around, or maybe he's not. Maybe he's looking elsewhere and looking to go somewhere else. But that was obviously unfortunate to see, but something that we understand. At least I understand from a business standpoint. I think he's wanting to wrestle more and do some more. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes. So what are you guys' thoughts on all that as we try to work out these technical difficulties, get Gary back in here? Yeah, Eric says hopefully Royce Isaac can come back at some point. I liked his work. I mean, Royce Isaacs is a hell of a talent, man. He was, obviously half of the tag champs for a while with Tom Latimer. And, my hope is it's not the last time we're going to see him in the NWA. And I would even hope that maybe he would, come at some point and appear even in the near future, just not under contract, or maybe, as part of Primetime Live or something like that. He does have a history with Dave Marquez in Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, and has I think he was the TV champion before Dan Joseph. Dan Joseph won the TV title, the UWN TV title from Royce Isaacs. So he's definitely got a presence with UWN with Dave Marquez. So it'd be nice to see him be part of that. But at this point, we just don't know, and we can only speculate. And so, yeah, I'm wondering about May Valentine, Woodland Goblin. Yeah, same for us. I mean, there was a lot going on, when Power, paused for the hiatus, and you had the storyline with May Valentine and Sal Renaro going on, and that whole thing with Royce Isaacs. So, not sure where that's going to land, but we're all definitely ready to see May Valentine on our screens again. So hopefully that can come to fruition. Maybe she can, continue something with Sal Renaro. We haven't really heard a lot from Sal either. So that's another NWA name floating out there that we haven't really heard from. Yeah, Scooby, hope to see him back in Championship Wrestling from Hollywood or Primetime Live to wrap up any unfinished business. That would be ideal. I think that there's enough of a connection there where that would make sense to see him appear on there. I just don't know. We don't have any insight as to where his head is at in the whole thing, and if he's looking to still be around, still hang out with the NWA or do anything like that, just outside of having a contract, so to speak. But maybe he would. Front row, love the Murdoch Stevens Power Surge video. Saw a lot more character from Murdoch. Absolutely, man. The NWA does a great job when they're promoting these matches, I feel like. And I know we've been on hiatus, and a lot of us have been, yearning for NWA content and things like that, and just like really just pining for stuff. But when stuff like this happens and they put out content through YouTube or social media or something like that, it really does amp up the game and really helps put that match over and make it stick out in our heads. And that's one thing that the NWA is really good at. They're good at telling stories and letting these guys cut promos that are authentic, that are natural, and it makes a lot of sense. So loving that. Let's see. So Zicky's a great follow. Do you watch his Twitch? I know Zicky's very active on Twitch. I don't catch a lot of his streams, but hear a lot of good things. I know you wrestling with the MMA are a big fan. So if you aren't following Zicky's social media, you're missing out, especially the picture he posted of the pink TV title, which is interesting. But he's definitely still touting that TV title. He's the must-see TV champ for the NWA still. So according to him, at least, there's no doubt about that. So, yeah, Gary somehow is still not able to get on. I don't know what's going on. We just might have to flip over to a new stream, and I'm sorry for you guys. It'll have to cut out and check out something else, but I think I'm going to close out this stream, and then we will stay tuned to the channel. We'll hop on either through Zoom or something like that, but we're going to try to make this thing work, and just doesn't seem to want to let Gary in. So thank y'all for hanging out for a few minutes. We'll come back in just a couple minutes, however we can, and we'll have the whole bearded trio here at some point, and we'll finish the show out. So thank you guys. Thanks for your patience. We appreciate everyone in the hashtag NWA fam. We'll start a new stream, and we'll get the word out again about it. But appreciate you guys. We'll see you in a few minutes.